driving me mad. I live near the airport, and the airport was built during the war. And some thousand people are driving go away from the airport because the airplane noise. And I'm the one of few people keep stay in my house. And sometimes sometimes I think my house has been knocked down by the pressing plane. And I determined to stay in my house. But I'm still stay. But some people say I'm will mad because every people says say I will mad, and some probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes driving me mad slowly. I live near an airport, so a pressing plane can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war. For some reason, it could not be used then. Over 100 people have been go away from the house. I am one of the people left. Sometimes I think the house will be knocked down by the pressing planes. I have been offered lots of some money to go away, but I didn't mind to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad. They are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport, and passing planes can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven away from their home by the noise. I'm one of few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked by a passing plane. I have been offered a large sum of money to go away, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport, and passing planes can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven away from their homes by the noise. I am one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing plane. I have offered a large sum of money to go away, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near of the airport, and the passing planes can be heard night and day. The airport have built during the war, and for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven from their homes to go away. And I am the one of few people left. Sometimes I think this house can be. I think this house will be knocked down by the passing plane. I am I have been offered by large sum of money, but I determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, but maybe they are probably right.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You guys, here we'd like to deliver some short story about mad or not. Aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport and I can hear passing planes day and night. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it cannot be used then. Over 100 people already go away from their home because of the noise. I am one of the few people left. Sometimes I feel that my house will be crushed down by a passing plane. I already offered a large sum of money to go away, but I am determined to stay here. Everyone say that I should be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport, so a passing plane can be heard all night and day. The airport was built during a war, but sometimes it could never use that. Over 100 people has been driven away from their house by the noise. But I'm the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing plane. I already offered some large of money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and it's probably right.
Aeroplanes are slowly making driving. I live near an airport, and passing planes can be here night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must be driving away from their home, but by the noise. I am one of the few people live. Sometimes I think this home will knock down by a passing plane. I have knocked down a passing plane. I have been offered lot of some money to go away, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Planes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport and passing plane can be here night and day. The airport was built during the war and for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people was left their homes by the noise, and I am one of few people left. Sometime I think this house will knocked down by aeroplanes. I have offered some large of money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everybody say I must be mad, and maybe they right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly making me mad. I live in an airport and passing planes here by night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason the airport cannot be used again. Over 100 people must have been driven away from their homes by the noise. I am one of the few people left. Uh, I think the house will be knocked down by passing planes. I have been offered a large sum of money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Aeroplanes are slowly becoming me mad. I live near an airport, and a passing plane can be heard night and day. The airport was built during a war, but for some reason it could not use them. Over 100 people must have been driving to their house by the night. I am, I am, I am one of the people left. Few people left, and sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing plane. I have offered a large sum of money to go away, but I am determined to stay here. Everybody say I must be mad, and they are probably right. Mad or not, aeroplanes are driving slowly make me mad. I live near an airport, and the passing plane can be heard night and day. But for some reason, it could not be used there. Over 100 people must be driven away from their homes and by the noise. I am one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by the passing plane. I've been offered a large sum of money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everybody say I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport and a passing plane can be here night and day. The airport was built during the war and for some reason it could not be used then. And over 100 people was driving away from their house by the noise. And I am one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by the passing plane. I have offered large of some money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everybody say I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport, and passing planes are here night and day. The airport was built during the war, but the airport could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driving away from their homes by the noise. I am one of the few people. I am one of the few people. And then sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing land. I have offered a large sum of money to go away, but I determined to stay here. Everyone says I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not, aeroplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport. Passing planes can be here night and days. The airport built during war, but some for the reason it could not be used. Over 100 people driven the way homes by the noise. I'm one of the few people left. But sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by passing plans, and I have been offered a large sum money, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says must met, and they are probably right.
Aeroplanes are slowly giving map. I live near an airport, and passing plane can be heard, can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven away from the home by the noise. I am one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down to be passing plans. I have been offered a lot of money to go away, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be met, and they are probably right.
Aeroplane. We met. I live near the airport, and passing plane can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven away there from homes by the noise. I'm one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by basic plan. But I'm determined to stay here. Everybody say I must be mad, and they are probably right.
Mad or not? Aeroplanes slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport. Near an airport was built, and passing planes can be heard day, night and day. The airport was built during the war. But for during the war, but for some reason it could not be used then. Over 100 people must have been driven away from there. I am one of the people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down. By a passing plane. But I am determined. I am determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, but they are probably there. Probably right.
No or not. Aeroplanes are slowly leaving the map. I live near an airport. I live near an airport and can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but for some reason it could not be used. Over 100 people left. Over 100 people must away from their homes by the noise. I'm one of the few people left. Sometimes I'm one of the few people left. People left. People left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by the passing planes. I think I have been offered for some lots of money to go away. Everybody says but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they're probably right.
Mad or not, airplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near an airport, and passing planes can be heard night and day. The airport was built during the war, but sometimes it could not be used then. Over 100 people driven away from their house by the noise. I am the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing plane. I've offered a lot of some money to go away, but I decided to stay here. People says I must be mad, but they probably right.
Allah